Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever applies to you. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Julia. I'm a contemporary singing specialist based in Australia, and today I am diving on into Falling in Reverse, I Am Not a Vampire, Revamped. Now, full disclosure, this is not my first time hearing this song. I had filmed a first time reaction. If you were in my recent live stream, you know that something frustrating happened with my audio. In that very same live stream, you requested that I refilm this as a second time reaction and also provide more of a breakdown analysis of what's going on. So we're just going to dive in. We're going to enjoy this song again. I've tried to give it as much time as possible between my first listen and then this listen. So let's just dive on in and break it down and enjoy this music together.
Well, I'm not a vampire, but I feel like one. Sometimes I sleep all day, 'cause I hate the sun. My hands are always shaking, body's always aching, and the dark is when I feed. Well, I can lure any woman that I want to in my bed with me, and whiskey seems to be my holy water. And mothers, better lock your doors and hide your daughters. 'Cause I'm insane, I can feel it in my bones, coursing through my veins. When did I become so cold? For goodness sakes, where is my self-control? If home is where my heart is, then my heart has lost all.
Oh god, I got completely swept up in it. Again, I just love the storytelling in this, both visually but also musically. This hit me the first time around, and it is only like cementing itself for me the second time around. I really love the way that this is arranged. And I must admit, there is at least one benefit to having watched it before, and that is I know kind of where I would like to stop to talk about things. And one of those things that I wanted to talk about is the texture or the layering that's going on in the musical arrangement, but also just how much energy is already in Ronnie's vocal delivery from the get-go. Vocally, there's actually quite a few little decisions that he's making there, whether it's small amounts of distortion going into aspiration and then moving back up into that belt setup. So to me, it's not a powerful belt, it's more it has the energy of it. So he's starting up around an F. If you are a baritone, you're already going to be feeling maybe a little bit uncomfortable having to start up there knowing that the music is going to be escalating. For a tenor, perhaps not so much, but for me, it's not just the pitch, it's also the energy that's going through the sound.
But I feel like one.
So an example was just on Feel Like One. The layering and the music is fairly stripped back. We've got the piano and what sounds like a bowed double bass. It could be something to that effect. If I'm wrong, an instrument or an electronic font that happens to be within the same sound spectrum as that. But we've got moments of energy coming through in the vocals, which lend itself to a belting quality. It's well balanced though, and we've got that contrast between that and the aspiration. So it's like you get the energy on the words that need to be more powerful with the belt quality, and then we get the storytelling that comes through when he decides to use a different vocal setup and go with something that's slightly more breathy. I guess my point from all that is that even if, like, straight out the gate, we've got a song that's going to require a little bit more vocal energy, you wouldn't want to go into this under-energized. You're going to need that physical connection for a song like this. So that energy is maintaining itself all the way through into that pre-chorus, which, by the way, musical layering in the pre-chorus, just the first time I listened to it and now this time I listen to it, oh my goodness, the moment those strings come in, like, it's just very, very clever for building anticipation. for the listener, I really enjoy those strings coming in there. And part of it is because we have the smoothness of the instrumentation that we've just listened to, and now we have like less of a legato sound coming through in those strings. And to me, it just gives us this contrast between these long, smooth sounds that we've just listened to in the first verse. Now we're in this pre-chorus with the da 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 da. Ah, I quite enjoy the musical layering that's going on through there. Is it an overly complicated musical idea? No, but it is executed quite well, and I think it was really, really nice decision making for the arrangement at this part here, because gee whiz, am I like anticipating the chorus. And then, just like in The Dragon Me is Reimagined, our chorus is pulled back. We have built up all this layering, we've got this anticipation, and now we're sitting in this like lull in the music, which to me it's almost like this is the eye of the storm, because my anticipation hasn't quite been satisfied yet. I want to have something that builds, and of course it delivers. The arrangement delivers on what you might feel like you want, having listened to that pre-chorus, because by the time we exit the chorus, I mean, the vocals are escalating all through that chorus. It's slightly pulled back at the beginning, but then we're back in that more energetic, bright, belty sound, which then escalate into large amounts of musical layering and him practically being in a belt by the
Did
end
I
of it.
become so? If home is where my heart is, then my heart has lost
And that is what I'm talking about, guys. That is what I am talking about. So we have the softer vocal setup in the beginning of the chorus. The vocals are escalating before the music does, which means by the time we have that heart has lost all hope, it works for both the lyric and the intention of the music. The intention checks out between the vocal decision and the lyric, for sure. But I guess my point is we've got that build up and then we land into this. So still got the strings, but now we also have more of a choral sound coming through as well, like that choir there, which I think is cool because we visited the choir in the beginning where it had the choral sounds, a little bit more of an electronic effect, what sounded a little bit like almost like a vinyl crackle. Not a very strong one, but it does sound like it's a little bit fuzzy, like that electronic, almost like vintagey effect that you can put on a sound. Could be wrong, but that's kind of how it comes across to me. He's revisited the choir sound in amongst all these other layers, so it's like a gradual introduction of the parts that you're going to hear when that chorus finally, you're dropping out of that chorus into this, which of course is exactly where we wanted it to go, listening to the build in that pre-chorus, because oh, if it had just like built and then dropped, I'd be like, oh, more. Okay. All right, we're gonna keep going.
I'm not a zombie, but I feel like one. Today, self-induced, comatose, chemical days. My head is always spinning from this dizzy blurry vision, and my stomach is had enough. I feel like a lady that is pregnant with a baby, 'cause I'm always throwing up. And hi, my name is Ronnie. I'm an addict.
Okay. Oh, I flippin' loved this song the first time I've listened to it. Gods, my appreciation for the song has not diminished in any way, shape, or form over the past 2 months. Things I wanted to comment on in this verse. God, you guys can be like, just give us your expressions. I will include perhaps just the visual of me watching it the first time at the end, because the audio. Okay. Here we are, second time. So,
Comatose, chemical days. My head is always spinning from this dizzy blurry vision, and my stomach is.
okay, I'm going back because I want us to listen to the depth, the fullness, the lowness. It's almost like he's putting on a voice for those low notes, but I think that like segues beautifully into, as he ascends, he's got some brighter tonalities going up into that aspiration. The other thing, his phrasing in this section, just I like it when phrasing is a little bit more creative. So he's around the downbeats in the phrasing coming up here, as opposed to just keeping straight on the downbeat every time.
Self-induced, comatose, chemical days. My name is Ronnie. I'm an addict.
Really cool layering through there. I like how they included that because I reckon for someone who hasn't listened to the original, they might not draw the parallels between a lot of the symbolism that's in the lyrics between being a vampire and having that connection to something like addiction and the behaviors you might have surrounding that. So people might not necessarily connect that if they hadn't watched the original video clip or listened to the original song, because I do think the theme of addiction is stronger in the video clip because they're in a rehab facility. Couldn't make it any more obvious if you tried. But in this one, we have this excellent storytelling about this vampire. Like, it's basically a movie. Let's be real. It's basically a movie. And I think the "Hi, my name is Ronnie, I'm an addict," it is that link between connecting the symbolism of the behaviors of a vampire and then, of course, feeling like a vampire and like all these things and connecting it to that. But it's also nice to have included an element that was in the original song as well. So I've noticed that the melody doesn't actually change a whole lot from the original song, which is really cool because it means that we're getting a completely different experience of a melody that we're familiar with, which is nice. I mean, familiar with. I've been binge listening Falling in Reverse. So a little bit more familiar with them now, but let's keep going.
And Daddy should have never raised me on Black Sabbath. I can feel it in my bones, coursing through my veins. When did I become so cold? For goodness sakes, where is my self-control? If home is where my heart is, then my heart has lost the love. When will you mortals believe? I just want the world to believe. Lost at the sight of your blood. I swear to God,
I love this section vocally. I like the variety. It is a character voice, absolutely, but the contrast between this sound that almost sounds like a goblin or something a little bit more evil compared to the choir, I just feel like I'm in a movie. I do. I feel like I'm listening to something that should be part of a score of something. Yeah. Okay, anyway, Ronnie. I like his ability to play with his sounds here.
I just want the world to believe.
Cool. So we've got some layering going on in the voice there, but it sounds very pingy and up here. So that's a harsh, twangy sound to me. I don't know where it would sit for him. I imagine that it feels like it's sitting up around here, a fair bit higher, so that we get these brighter, more sharp turns through the voice. I just want the world to bleed. Yes. God, I love the fact that my job lets me make funny noises. That's great. That sounds like the placement for the first one, but if we get to the second one,
I just want the world to believe. Lost at the sight of your blood.
and that sound is a little bit more dull. So I strongly suspect that that probably feels like it sits in a different spot for him, because it sounds like the brightness of that first one, which to me comes out really, really twangy, like through your nose, nice and bright through the top. And then that to me is obviously a very different timbre to that second character voice, which to me comes across as quite dull and like coming from the back of the mouth. But of course, the only person who'd be able to confirm that is Ronnie. So, and of course, each individual singer might feel things differently. Perhaps for me, it feels like it's up there, but it's not the case for him. But that is where my ears are saying that it would sit and how I would recreate the sound if I had to. But yes, I am particularly fond of this section because I love the contrast between those character voices and the choral sound, but also because of the impact it has on the arrangement as a whole. It really feels like we're progressing through this storyline here where he's gone a little bit, it sounds like he's gone a little bit evil and insane because of those voices. I just think this is so good. I'm running out of words, guys. Which you're probably thinking, about damn time, all you do is talk. Those strings. Okay, so I noted this the first time I listened to it, and now that we're on the second time that we're listening to it, I have to mention it again. Him going from that belt and then him shifting the sound forward, alleviating the pressure of the vowel that happened before it. It seems so appropriate for the story, but also it's a really interesting choice to decide to alleviate sort of the pressure of the vowel by shifting the sound forward. It gives you a very distinct tonal change. And that is why it's a little bit more obvious when you listen to it. Probably even if you're not a vocal coach, you'll hear that sound shifting forward. But sometimes the dismount from the belt or whatever powerful vocal setup you've used is the harder part. How do I get out of this? And he found a way to get out of that more powerful, energetic, high rate of breath flow sound in a way that also met the decrescendo within the music. Yeah. Let's listen to that again. There's L, or it's coming through the front there. Let's listen to it again and again. It's like a taper on the sound just through shifting where their resonance is sitting. Whew. Okay. Oh, we're gonna keep going.
So I sharpen my teeth, 'cause I love the way it feels when I sink into your skin and draw the only thing that's real. You don't believe me. Should I write it in blood? You better drive that fucking stake right down my heart and try and run, motherfucker! I'm a vampire!
My goodness, that ending. So everything that I mentioned in the beginning to do with the layering, to do with the vocal decision making, is just flipping 10 out of 10 from the start to the end. I love the arrangement of this song. On the vocal standpoint, Ronnie is obviously going ham on that fry sound through his belt at the end. So when I'm saying fry sound, you know, if you're like, I don't know, like imitating the Grudge, so if you're at the bottom going, so we've got this fry sound. His is a fry sound going through something that is obviously pitched a hell of a lot higher. I will give the world's tiniest little example. If this is a lower sound, you can hear that like almost like a popping quality. That's from the vocal folds staying closed for a longer period of time and then little bits of air are coming through. That's why we get that popping / crackly kind of sound. But you can also do that as you go up through your range. So if we've got, we can, now mine is like piss weak. Let's be real. I don't do harsh vocals and learning about them has been so fun, but his stamina and the stability of that sound for something that sounds ultimately like it's unstable, it's distortion, which means that there's a level of instability happening at the vocal fold level. His consistency with this sound is incredible, and the amount of breath and support stamina he must have to be able to maintain it through a song like this. Whoa. Oh my god, I just want to watch it to the end. It's just such epic arranging. Oh, I mean, oops, I don't swear on this channel. The power through his vowel work on Heart Has in that last one, you get a lot more like depth to his sound on that one. That was so cool.
Has lost all. Heart has fucking lost all. Heart has lost all.
Okay, so why do I like that? We've just gone from a lot of that fry quality in his belting, so more of a scream sound coming through. We've got that fry quality, which means that we're getting a lot of this like crackle pop. And then suddenly we get hit with the fullness of the Heart Has. It just, to me, drives home the intention and those lyrics. If you're a beginner and you want to do it like this, give yourself the time to develop. This is awesome. This is awesome. I think I've probably spoken enough. Ronnie's vocal decision making from the beginning, where he is more in his first register, varying it with aspiration, a little bit of distortion here and there, but I feel like he's saving more of the extended periods of distortion for the end. It really hits quite hard when he's being obviously captured by the vampires to have that crackle pop sound coming through in his belts. It seems almost like he's turned into something else. He's become this vampire. It's almost like a hissing animalistic sound when you hit those belts at the end. It's, yeah, the progress vocally throughout, the progress musically throughout, with the use of layers, the building of tension and release, the fact that there are decisions that are made that build anticipation, kind of deny you a little bit, and then hit you with it. These are things that make me enjoy this incredibly so. The visuals as well, awesome. This is a movie. I've said it 15 million times. This is basically like watching a movie, and it only took you 6-ish minutes. The cinematography, the costumes, all of this joins together into something that is highly enjoyable to watch, to listen to. I feel like you're looking at a scene of Interview with a Vampire, or is it Interview of a Vampire? I don't remember. That one movie where they wear similar costumes and there's mansions and stuff. Anyway, I enjoyed the heck out of watching this again and being able to break this down, because there's a lot to it. There's genuinely a lot going on in this kind of song, from the different voices that Ronnie used, the different placements, the way that he's able to shift where it's sitting, going into distortion at the end, just... Anyways, that is where I'm going to leave that one today. Thank you so much for joining me on this second time reaction and breakdown analysis of I'm Not a Vampire Revamped. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give this video a like, click the subscribe button and the bell notification beside it set to all if you'd like more videos in the same vein as this one. Vein? It's the same level of pun as Revamped. Give me a break. If you want more, do the button clicky things. And as usual, I hope you're staying safe. I hope you are staying healthy, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
that I walk to in my bed with me, and whiskey seems to be my holy water. And mothers better lock your doors and hide your daughters, 'cause I'm insane. I can feel it in my bones, coursing through my veins. When did I become so cold? For goodness sakes, where is my self-control? so I sharpen my teeth.